A beautiful morning, dear students. Welcome back to your science class. How are you all? I hope you all are fit and fine and enjoying the videos of science. Yes or no? As you know, in the previous day we have started the science revision and we had the revision of lesson 1. Today we will have the revision of lesson number 2, parts of a plant. And in the similar manner, I will explain the whole chapter and I will repeat the exercises as well. And what you have to do? You have to prepare the exercises for your final examination. The things we will discuss in today's class: parts of a plant, types of plants, functions of root, types of roots, functions of stem, function of leaves, structure of a leaf, function of flowers, function of fruit, and function of seeds. Apart of these all, I will repeat the exercises again. If you have not completed till now, so you have to complete the exercises and you have to prepare for the examination. Types of plants. Around us we find there are many types of plants. Those are tree, herb, shrub, climber and creeper. We'll talk more about these types of plants in next slide. So let's talk more about the types of plants. Plants are of many kinds. A tree is a tall plant with a broad and strong trunk. A coriander plant is small. It has a soft, weak stem. Such plants are called herbs. A rose plant is a shrub. A shrub has many woody stems. The watermelon plant is a creeper. A creeper grows along the ground. The bitter gourd plant is a climber. It climbs on nearby objects. We can see here the different types of plants. They have different types of body features. Like a tree has a broad and strong trunk, but a shrub doesn't have broad and strong trunk. They have only woody stems. Herbs, creepers and climbers, they have soft and weak stem. Creepers, they grows along the ground, while the climbers always try to climb up by holding any nearby object. Now let's talk more about the different parts of a plant. Plants have different parts. No matter how different plants are, their roots, stem, leaves and flowers perform the same functions. The roots. Plants have roots, but we cannot see them because they grow under the ground. Functions of the root. Roots hold the plant firmly to the soil. Roots take in water and minerals from the soil. Plants such as carrot, beetroot store the extra food prepared by the plants in their roots. Can we see the roots of a plant? No, we cannot see because they are under the ground. Their roots hold the plant firmly to the soil. Because of the roots, they are firmly fixed in the soil. The main function now, roots take in water and minerals from the soil to prepare their food. And plants such as carrot, beetroot, radish, these type of plants, they store their extra amount of food in their roots for later use. A plant with healthy roots grows well. If the roots are damaged, the plant dies as it is not able to get water. So you can see that if the roots are damaged, means not working properly, so the plant will die. Why? Because the plant will not be able to get water and minerals from the soil. So let's have a short exercise. What holds the plant firmly in the soil? The answer will be roots. A plant needs healthy roots to grow well. Is it true or false? It is true statement, because already I said if the plants are not having healthy roots, so they will be not able to get water and minerals. So how they will prepare their food? They will not be able to prepare their food. That is why the plants will die. Now let's talk about the next subtopic, the kinds of roots or the types of roots. Some kinds of plants have a main root and many fine roots growing from the main root. Such a root is called a taproot. Bean and mango plants have tap roots. Some kinds of plants do not have a main root but have many separate roots. Such roots are called fibrous roots. All kinds of grasses have fibrous roots. Paddy, wheat, and maize plants are grasses and therefore have fibrous roots. So we see here there are two types of roots, taproot and fibrous root. Mango plants, bean plants, they have taproot. Grasses, rice, wheat, they have fibrous roots. Taproot is a root who has a main root, and there are many fine roots growing from the main root. But the fibrous roots, they do not have any main root. They have many separate roots to get water and minerals from the soil. Let's have one more short exercise. First question, mango plants have taproot. Second question, wheat plants have fibrous roots. Oh, now we'll have an audio-visual presentation on structure and functions of root to understand more about the topic.
Structure and function of roots. When we look at most plants around us, we see the parts of the plants that grow above the soil. Do plants have other parts as well? Plants are able to stand tall and firm because of this part of plant called the roots, which mostly remain under the ground. There are two main types of roots seen in plants. Some plants have taproots, while some have fibrous roots. Carrot plant is an example of a taproot. A taproot forms when one main root grows from the base of the stem and many other smaller roots grow from this main root. This main root keeps growing downwards and goes deeper into the soil. Other plants that have taproots are bean and beetroot. The fibrous roots are seen in plants like grass. In this type of root system, numerous roots of the same size grow from the base of the stem. These roots grow sideways in a bunch and do not go very deep into the soil. Some plants that have fibrous roots are onion and wheat. Roots are a very important part for plants. Look at this boy trying to pull out a bunch of grass from the soil. He tries to pull the grass, but the plants do not come out easily, and the boy ends up lifting the pot. This shows that roots of the grass plants are holding them firmly in the soil. Thus, the roots function to prevent the plants from being uprooted by fast wind and flowing water. Now look at this boy digging holes in the soil. While making the holes, the boy removed the roots of some grass plants. After a few days, he noticed that the plants whose roots were removed dried up and died. Can you think of the reason why the plants died? Roots absorb water and minerals for the plant from the soil. In the absence of roots, the plants could not get water and died. Roots of many plants such as carrot, beetroot and radish also help to store the extra food made by a plant. Now we all know how important is the roots to the plant.
Now we will talk about another part of a plant, that is the stem. The stem of a plant grows above the soil. In trees, the stem is large, broad and hard. A herb has a green and soft stem. A shrub has many hard and woody stems. Functions of a stem. The stem bears branches. It also bears leaves, flowers and fruits. The stem carries water taken in by the roots to the rest of the plant. The stem carries food made by the leaves to all the other parts. In plants such as potato and sugarcane, the extra food is stored in the stem. Stem is the another important part of a plant. Different plants have different types of stem. Like the trees have broad and hard stem. Herb has soft stem. A shrub has many hard and woody stem. Stem also carry out some specific functions. Those are stem bears branches, leaves, flowers and fruits. It carries the water and minerals to the leaves. Then the leaves prepare the food. Then again the stem carries the food to each and every part of the plant. Some of the plants, they store their extra amount of food in stem, like potato, sugarcane, onion, etc. Now the question is, how do the plants carry food, water, minerals from one part to another part in their body? Inside the plant there is a network of fine tubes. These tubes connect the roots with all the other parts of the plant. The water taken in by the roots passes through the stem and reaches every part of the plant through these tubes. If the stem of the plant is damaged, the plant cannot live. So what do the plants have to carry food, water and minerals in their body? They have a network of fine tubes, and with the help of these tubes they carry water, minerals, foods from one part to another part of their body. Function of leaves. Every plant has leaves of a particular size, shape and color. For example, all banana plants have the same type of leaves. You can identify a plant by its leaves. Leaves appear green in color because they contain a green substance called chlorophyll. So all the leaves are not same of different plants. But if we observe the same plant, so we'll find all the leaves are same. Like for an example, if we observe a banana plant, so we'll find all the leaves are same. But if we observe a banana plant and a papaya plant, so we'll find the leaves are different of both these plants. And do you know a substance is present on their leaves? The name of the substance is chlorophyll. With the help of chlorophyll, they make their food, and that is the function of leaves. The leaves prepare food for the plants. Now let's talk about the structure of a leaf. The flat and broad surface of the leaf is called leaf blade or lamina. Observe the back of a leaf. You will find fine lines on the entire leaf. These lines are called leaf veins. The leaf veins are actually fine tubes which carry water and food. Leaf veins also provide support and shape to the leaf. In most plants, the leaf has a main vein in the center. It is called midrib. Now let's understand. The flat and broad part, the uppermost part of the leaf, is known as leaf blade or lamina. If we observe a leaf, so we'll find there are fine lines on the entire leaf. These lines are known as leaf veins. What are those actually? Actually, those are fine tubes. And what do? They carry water and food. And also they provide shape to the leaf. We find a main vein in the center of a leaf. That is known as midrib. But do you know the leaf veins are not arranged in the same manner for all plants? So let's talk about it. In some plants such as grass, the leaf does not have a midrib. In such plants, all the leaf veins are arranged as straight lines. Now you observe both the pictures of leaves on your screen. In first picture we can see that the leaf veins are arranged in straight lines. But in second picture we find that the leaf veins are arising from a main vein, that is midrib, as we know. A leaf has many tiny pores called stomata on its surface. You will need a microscope to see the stomata. The leaves also contain very tiny, very small pores on their surface. Those pores are known as stomata. But to see stomata, we need an instrument. The name of the instrument is microscope. But the question is, why do plants have stomata? Plants need air to live. Air enters a plant through the stomata. So to take air, the plants, they need stomata. Now let's have a small exercise. Take the correct answers. Air enters a plant through stomata. Second, leaf veins are found only on the top of the leaf. Is it true? No, it is false, because we find the leaf veins in the entire leaf, not only top of the leaf. What do leaves do for the plant? Leaves obtain carbon dioxide from the air, and water absorbed by the roots reaches the leaves. In the presence of sunlight, leaves make food by using carbon dioxide and water. So already I talked in beginning that leaves prepare food for the plants. But how do they prepare the food? They use the water absorbed by the roots, and they take carbon dioxide through the stomata, and in the presence of sunlight they prepare their food. So we can say the leaves are the kitchen of the plant or the food factory of the plant. Do you know some leaves can store food for the plant like cabbage, lettuce, spinach? So these are the leaves can store food for the plant. Do you know the name of the process by which the plants prepare their food? The name of the process is photosynthesis. With the help of this process, they prepare their food using water, carbon dioxide and sunlight. Oh, now we will have an audio-visual presentation on leaf and its structure.
Leaf and its structure. Most of you would have drawn a leaf somewhat similar to this leaf here. This simple drawing says a lot about the shape and structure of a leaf. The surface of a leaf is flat and is called the leaf blade or lamina. It is green in color due to the presence of chlorophyll. The large lamina allows to the leaf to absorb sunlight, water and air for the plant. Now let us use a magnifying glass to look closer at this leaf. Can you see a thick line running through the center? This is the main vein or midrib of the leaf. You can also see many smaller veins originating from the main vein. Veins help to carry water, minerals and food up and down the leaf. The main vein extends into the stalk that helps to attach the leaf to the stem. It helps to conduct water and food between the leaf and the stem. If we look at the leaf under a microscope, we will see numerous tiny pores on the lamina. These pores or openings are called stomata. They are present in large numbers on the lower surface of the leaf. Stomata help in exchange of gases with the environment. In photosynthesis, carbon dioxide enters the leaf and oxygen goes out. The leaves are arranged on the stem in a specific way so that they can absorb the maximum amount of sunlight for photosynthesis. The arrangement of leaves on the stem of a plant is called phyllotaxy. When each leaf arises from a separate node on the stem, the leaves are said to be arranged in an alternate manner. When two leaves arise from a single node but in the opposite direction, they are said to be arranged in an opposite manner. Sometimes more than two leaves arise from the same node and wrap around the stem. The arrangement is called a whorl. Isn't it amazing to see how well planned the leaf structure is?
Now we will talk on our next subtopic, function of flowers. Many plants bear flowers. Fruits with seeds develop from flowers. Flowers of some plants such as cauliflower and broccoli store food. So, what is the main function of flower? Main function of flower is to develop fruit and seeds, and some of the flowers can store food in them like cauliflower and broccoli. Do you know Many flowers have sweet liquid called nectar, which is the food of insects such as butterflies and bees. Bees collect this nectar in their honeycomb and convert it into honey. So did you know this thing? Flower has a liquid. It's called nectar. This nectar is food for many insects like butterflies, bees, etc. And bees, they collect this nectar in their honeycomb and convert it into honey. Now let's talk about fruits. What is the role of fruits? Most fruits have seeds. The fruit protects the seeds inside it. Some fruits have only one seed, such as mangoes, while some have many, such as apples, papayas, and watermelons. So we can see that the main role or the main function of fruits are to protect the seeds. Now let's talk on our last subtopic, that is function of seeds. Most plants produce seeds. Seeds have a baby plant in them. A seed can grow into a new plant if it reaches the soil and gets enough water and warmth. Plants store food in their seeds. The food is used by the baby plant while it grows. So we can say that the main function of a seed is to produce a new plant, because the seeds have baby plants in them and seeds can store food in them for the baby plants. Now let's have an exercise. What you have to do here, underline the correct words to complete each sentence. So leaves are called the food factory of the plant. Mangoes have one seed. Seeds have a baby plant in them. Now let's discuss the exercises of lesson 2. Question number 1. Tick the correct answer. First, which part of the plant holds it firmly in the soil? The answer is root. Second, which of these plants has a fibrous root? Answer is grass. Third, which part of a plant has stomata? The answer is leaf. Fourth, which of these plants has a taproot? The answer is bean. Fifth, which part of a banana plant makes food? The answer is leaf. Question number 2. Tick the true statements and cross the false ones. First, all mango trees have the same type of leaves. Yes, it is true. That is why we have to put a tick. Second, leaf veins are found only on large leaves. This statement is wrong, so we have to put a cross. Third, all plants have the same kind of roots. This is also false statement. That is why we have to put a cross. Fourth, air enters a plant through its stomata. Yes, it is correct statement. That is why we have to put a tick. Fifth, a seed has a baby plant in it. This is also a true statement. That is why we have to put a tick. Question number 3. Study the drawings and fill in the blanks. I will read only the answers. Okay? The leaf, flower, fruit, root and stem are parts of a plant. The roots absorbs water for the plant. The leaves use sunlight, water and carbon dioxide to make food for the plant. Most plants bear flowers. the flower forms a fruit with one or more seeds. The seed can form a new plant. Now let's go for the question answers. Question number 4. Answer the following questions in one sentence. First, what is a taproot? Taproot is a type of root that has one main root to which many smaller roots are attached. So taproot is a type of root which has a main root, and from that there are many smaller roots attached to it. Second question, list the parts of a plant present on the stem. Answer, the stem bears branches which has leaves, flowers and fruits. Question number 3. Name a plant that stores food in its stem. Answer, sugarcane plant stores food in its stem. So sugarcane is one of the example of a plant who can store the extra amount of food in its stem. Question number 4. What are the tiny pores on the leaf surface called? Answer, the tiny pores on the leaf surface are called stomata. That all we know, the tiny pores are present on the leaf surface are known as stomata. Question number 5. What do leaf veins carry? Answer, leaf veins carry water and food. So leaf veins carry water and food for the plant. Question number 6. Which part of a plant forms the fruit? Answer, the flower of a plant forms a fruit. Now let's go for the long questions. First, why are roots important to a plant? Answer, roots hold the plant to the ground. They take water from the soil. Carrot and beetroot store extra food in their roots. Second question, how does the stem help the plant? Answer, stem bears branches, leaves, flowers and fruits. It carries food made by the leaves to all the parts of a plant. It carries water sucked in by the roots to all the parts of the plant. In sugarcane and potato plants, extra food is stored in their stem. Third question, describe an activity to show that roots hold a plant firmly to the soil. Answer, take about 20 seeds of wheat or ragi and sow them in an ice cream cup filled with some garden soil. Keep the cup in sunlight and water the soil every day. After about a week, seedlings begin to grow, and when the seedlings are about 3 to 4 days old, stop watering for 2 days so that the soil is dry. Hold the seedlings and lift them up. You will notice that the cup is lifted along with the seedlings, showing that roots hold the plants firmly to the soil. So by this activity we can understand that the roots of a plant help the plant to hold the soil firmly. Fourth question, explain the function of the leaf in a plant. Answer, leaves take in carbon dioxide and use sunlight to prepare food for the plant. Leaves take in oxygen through stomata. In some plants such as cabbage and lettuce, leaves store food for the plant. So these are the functions of a leaf. Leaf can prepare food for the plant. Leaf can take oxygen to breathe through their stomata, and some leaves can store food like cabbage and lettuce. Thank you, dear students. Take care of yourself.